Hello everyone and welcome to another Pyro gaming video. The season of the Drifter is officially underway, and with that season came a few sandbox changes that will undoubtedly change up our loadouts like they do every season. Now with this season, most of the things that were good last week before the season started are still good today. Things like Whisper, things like Thunderlord, things like Sleeper. Even though their ammo has been reduced, they are still viable options. Even shotguns like Threat Level and Ikelos are still pretty good and solid options, and yes, even Cluster Bombs is still an option on Riven. However, there is a new option on Riven that recently got buffed that kills Riven even faster than Cluster Bombs ever did in its prime. And not only does it kill it faster, but with Cluster Bombs you typically had to apply 2 debuffs throughout the duration of the fight, whereas with this one, you only need to apply 1 debuff, and honestly, you might not even need that. You might just only need a well for this new option to melt Riven. Now, I do want to talk about weapon options for each one of these major Last Wish encounters, but I want to start with Riven, because we did this last night, and it honestly blew my mind how quick you can kill this fucking dragon with this new option. And some of you may be very surprised to hear that this new god tier weapon to use against Riven is fucking Prospector. Now, grenade launchers as a whole get a 25% overall damage buff in this update. They also got their reserve ammo buffed, meaning you carry more. If you have something like a grenade launcher reserves, you can actually carry around 20 rounds of Prospector ammo, and it just deals insane damage super quickly. Prospector also fires in full auto, however, one of its perks requires you to let go of the trigger to detonate the grenades that stick to enemies. So it is worth noting that whenever you're using this, you do want to fire about a clip's worth or a magazine's worth of ammo, let go of the trigger briefly to detonate those charges, and then go back to holding down your trigger. But once you master this, oh my god guys, you can deal insane amounts of DPS. I've honestly never seen Riven die so quick. Let's go ahead and take a look. That damage is actually disgusting, guys. Like, this is without a doubt the new go-to Riven cheese, quote-unquote. And it's worth noting that, like I said, that was only with 1 debuff. I applied a single hammer strike, and we stood in a well of radiance. That is 1 buff and 1 debuff, and we did not have time to apply a second debuff before Riven was dead. Absolutely insane DPS, without a doubt the new go-to strat. So let's talk about other encounters in the raid. Let's go ahead and talk about Kali. Kali is virtually unchanged. Ikelos and Thunderlord are still good. Something like Sleeper Simulant is still good. Threat Level is still good. Acreus could be an option. Whisper of the Worm could still be an option. Basically, whatever you were using before is still usable on Kali in the raid. And the same goes for Shurochi. Basically, whatever you were using before, continue using it now. Threat Level and Ikelos are still really good. I like to keep Thunderlord on, primarily for ad control. I don't really use it for DPS. Acreus is also a solid option. Moving on to the Morgeth fight, again, virtually unchanged. Your 2 main options are going to be shotguns right underneath them like I'm doing now, or Whisper on the other side of the map. If you're doing shotguns, I would highly recommend using Acreus, preferably with the Catalyst, because those 6 shots are a lot better than 2. But if you don't have the Catalyst and fully upgraded, then a well with Lunafactions or a Rally Barricade will do just fine. Virtually everything in this raid that you used before can still be used now. For the Vault encounter, I stick with shotguns. I keep Acreus, and in this case, a Threat Level, or if I don't want to use Threat Level, I will pop on an Ikelos. Acreus will 2-shot the Knights, so it is very handy to have. But, like I said, basically whatever you used before, you can still use now. The only issue now is that you might run out of ammo a little sooner. So because of that, that's why I like using something like Prospector on Riven, because you can carry around 20 rounds, and it does insane damage. So that's just something to keep in mind. If you have a Taken Armaments mod where you kill Taken with a grenade and it gives you heavy back, it's probably not going to be an issue for you. But for a lot of people, the nerf to Whisper ammo, reducing you to only 9 shots or 10 with a ammo reserve perk on your armor, it can be rough, man. It really can. You miss 1 shot and all of a sudden you're down to basically 6. I mean, it might as well be 6 because that's how Whisper works. You have to land 3 consecutive. But in any case, it's still viable, and, you know, to each his own. If you are really good at landing crits, by all means, stick with Whisper. If you prefer cluster bombs, stick with it, but definitely give Prospector a shot on Riven because it is insanely good. That's going to bring this video to an end, guys. If you'd like to see a similar style video done for Scourge, let me know and I will try to get it up. If you enjoyed this video, click like. If you're new to the channel, click subscribe. And if you are already subscribed, I fucking love you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and take care.